Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an Age of Empires forecasted game, and today we've got the very first ever match to be played on the new game mode, Empire Wars. Today, spawning in the south corner of the map, we've got Mekroid playing in green as the Mongols, and in the north, we've got Real Annie playing in teal as the Delhi Sultanate. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dry Arabia, but a new look Dry Arabia on the Empire Wars game format. As you can see, villagers already spawning out on gold and wood and berries, and I think, well, this is going to be a new interesting start to the Age of Empires 4 game and the way the game mode works. It's a super fast start. As you can see, players are already going up to that next age, the feudal age, and it's only been one and almost half a minute, 1.5 minutes almost, and they're already starting to build those landmarks. The Mongols are going to be going up with the deer stones and the Tower of Victory landmark of choice there for Real Annie in the north. And it's an interesting game mode because, of course, we'll be able to get those units out very fast and production builders. You start off with the resources as well. As you can see on the top of your screen, they have already got a bunch of wood, food, gold, and stone as well. So, well, the Mongols have got some stone because of the Aoe4 already being built. So that's an interesting dynamic that they've got the Aoe4 already built. And, well, I have seen it as well with another game that's kind of happened after this was the Rus, and they start off with the wooden fortress. So each civilization's will have their own unique starts. The Delhi Sultanate did start off with a mosque. So super excited to see how this new game mode takes place and how it works out with the competitive esports scene in Age of Empires 4. Tower of Victory will be almost complete there, building up with 6 villagers, Real Annie. And it's really going to be spicing up the Age of Empires 4 scene in terms of the game speed, how quickly it gets going. As you can see, already hitting the feudal age, and it's already under 2.5 minutes, and units will be popping out in that feudal age. You can see the Delhi Sultanate getting those techs, getting Sanctity, and Wheelbarrow as well. Of course, the technologies are free for the Delhi Sultanate, and I suspect it might... Oh, it's a bit of an over miss here. He's not actually clicked these just yet. I suspect he will soon, these upgrades. But I suspect in the heat of the moment with the Empire Wars game format, he may have just have forgotten to get those eco upgrades. In the south, do you see that stable up and running? Possibly looking to get some units out soon, perhaps, Mekroid. So going to upgrade his economy first, getting Wheelbarrow, and also queuing up the horticulture upgrade. He's double producing. It was getting the bonuses on the sheep for the pastures, being under the influence of the Aoe4. And he's continuing to do that. He wants to boost up the economy. The Real Annie might be almost ran into the TC with this scout. He thinks better of it and backs away for now. Up in the north, do you see the Delhi Sultanate opening up with some stables, a double stable there, and an archery range. Double blacksmith coming out for those upgrades. Plenty of villagers on gold, so it might even be just a fast castle here. It looks like it for Mekroid. No need to fight in the feudal age. Now that's something I'm a bit concerned about with the Empire Wars game format. It feels like you're going to be struggling to do much damage, and fast castle seems to be a thing because you just start off with that many extra villagers, that many extra resources, and you're going to see the Mongols going up to the castle age very soon. In fact, he can afford it already. And he's going to be going up with his step redoubt. Wants the gold income to be coming in thick and fast. And this does change the meta a little bit. You know, of course, some people used to go with the trade landmark for the Mongols and get the trade up and running. But really, in the Empires Wars game format, it just doesn't seem viable because you need the trade to be up and running for it to have any meaningful effect. And it just takes too long a time, I think. With the step redoubt, though, you get that gold injection nice and quickly. Going to be getting an outpost on that gold vein. Obviously, a bit concerned about any sort of feudal age pressure. Now, speaking of feudal age pressure, I feel like this game mode kind of hurts the Delhi Sultanate quite a bit. And the game mode kind of hurts the civilizations that prioritize the feudal age fights. And I think it's because of just the fact how easy it is to get to the castle age. Take a look at this. Mekroid are going to be getting up to the castle age in no time. Probably just reaching the 5-minute mark, and that's a crazy castle age time. So I think civilizations like the English that, you know, love to do that longbowman rush, and the Delhi Sultanate, which prioritize getting the sacred sites in the feudal age, are possibly going to struggle a little bit. But I think that the Empire Wars game format really does promote aggression, because it does also mean that the 2 TC play, the 2 town center play, may be a little bit difficult to achieve, because the castle age power spike that you get is super strong, with their heavy units being so kind of impervious to arrow fire. So the second town center won't deter these knights diving in, whether it be knights, men-at-arms, you know, castle age heavy units. As you can see, the horsemen diving in there for Real Annie, and that's not going to be a fight he wants to take. He's going to have to back away from that for sure. And you can see Real Annie trying to get some outposts out on the field to get the vision and also just be a bit of a pain in the ass, but we shall see how much he's able to achieve. Does have double stable, and Ruani is floating a lot of wood. Perhaps was thinking about prioritizing the feudal ages. He does look to get some of the sacred sites, but with Castle Age Knights on the field for the Mongols, with double production from the Uvu, it does feel like the Mongols will be an incredibly strong pick on this game mode, Empire Wars. Let me know, guys, what you think about the Empire Wars game format in the comment section below. What do you think it's going to do for the esports scene? And just the shift in meta, I think it's going to be very interesting. It does feel like, because obviously the civilization balance is based around the normal game mode, it does feel like civilization like the Dark Age, or the heavy Dark Age players or the aggressive players will struggle because teams can go to the Castle Age. So those civilizations that really focus on Dark Age aggression or Feudal Age aggression, I think might have a tough time in the Empire Wars format. But it does mean that there's going to be new metas establishing, new ways to play the game. Be exciting. Tower Victory is up and running there for real Annie, of course. He got that to get to the Feudal Age. And it does mean that if you get to infantry in the Feudal Age or in the Castle Age, they will be having the attack speed buffer. There's a couple of knights there for Mekro. Going to be looking to get some raiding value, and you can just see these guys won't mind at all about diving underneath the town centre. So you're looking to try and torch down one of the mosques. And in the middle of the map, looking to get Sacred Site secured. That's probably going to be stopped very soon. I'm surprised that Mekro didn't just send a couple of knights or so on this eastern side Sacred Site to deny it. The scholars are popping out. Floating a lot of wood. The macro here, not really on point here for Annie. You can tell that obviously the new game mode is causing these players to have to readjust their thought processes in terms of macro. It's going to need a lot more gold for sure. It's going to garrison the 15 villages in the town centre, but of course the knights are going to be pressurising and causing all sorts of trouble. Let's get a decent amount of value there. Gets quite a few kills. Plenty of villages on gold and food there for Mekro. So the macro is a bit more on point for him. And he's going to dive underneath the town centre, you feel. So he's going to need some spearmen out here, Annie. He's going to try and push this back. The excited on the east now has been decapped. It looks like the centre one might be decapped soon too. He's heading out to the west there with the scholar to get the western side sacred site. Venture numbers really starting to pick up for Mekro for the Castle Age units, and that's going to be problematic to deal with. They're going to get double archery range behind this. Does already have one. Maybe looking to get the crossbowman if he does get to the Castle Age. I think the interesting thing is I believe that Annie probably wanted to rely on gold income from the sacred sites to get to that Castle Age, which is often what the Delhi Sultanate do, but of course just the lead time on the Castle Age from Mekro does mean his ability to get that sacred site gold is really inhibited by this, as he's going to lose the central sacred site as well, so it's going to be forcing him to go out onto gold. He does have a fair few on gold. He recognises he needs that gold and he's sending 17 now. And it's going to be capturing this western side sacred site, but of course the middle one is going to be decapped very soon. But it should be the case that Annie goes to the Castle Age pretty soon. Just needs a little bit more food, and once he does get that in, he should be good to go. Mekro has been on the Castle Age for quite a bit of time, and obviously benefiting from the step redoubt. Nice bit of eco boost with those villagers gathering at 50% extra. Units are starting to build up for Annie, so he does have a bit of a standing army with the spearmen and archers in the back line, and Mekro doesn't have enough units to really take this fight. He might decide to, but it would be a mistake because there are a lot of spearmen there. He takes the fight, and Annie should be able to clear this up. A bit of a misplay there by Mekro. Perhaps wasn't looking, he's taking the fight. Be able to kill a couple of the units, but the spearmen will take them apart, and even though these are feudal age spearmen, they still do a decent job against Castle Age units. It's going to be the compound of the defender rushing it up with 18 villagers. Now, the compounded defender has changed a little bit. It used to be 25% reduction on the stone cost of buildings and emplacements. Now it's just 20%. You know, still a big deal. Still a big deal. Khan has been killed for the Mongols, and with Annie now getting to the Castle Age, he might be able to push back a little bit, getting the Castle Age upgrades already this time without very much delay. They could get the relics in too. Of course, the benefit of the Delhi Sultanate is that they often have those scholars on the field to get those relics. Mekro, though, despite being in the Castle Age a lot earlier, hasn't been looking to get those sacred sites. Plenty of villages on stone here for Annie, so he's going to play the Delhi Sultanate village fortresses play, you feel. Is he researching that just yet? He hasn't clicked it. Bit of a mistake there, bit of an error. Unless it's an overlay spectator bug, but he needed to have clicked that. Those keeps to really start pumping out villagers. So now heading to the almost 11th minute of the game. Left side of the sacred site has been neutralized by the knights there for the Mongols. And it's going to be getting that stone he needs very soon for that keep. Now, of course, the keep cost now is at 640. It used to be 600, so obviously the bonus reduction is reduced a little bit there for the Delhi Sultanate, but I don't know if it's really that much of a meaningful one, to be honest. You got that number of villagers going for stone. Not sure how much of a big difference that makes. It's going to be depositing that relic and does have a tower elephant, which will do decent work against the cavalry of the Mongols, but cavalry are looking to raid on the barriers. We'll pick off some villages there. Unfortunately for Annie, he cannot get away from there unscathed. He does pull the villagers back and does have wheelbarrow. I might be able to survive with one or two of them. We'll lose the archer though, of course, and the horsemen are going to be chasing away the knights. The lance is there for the Mongols, does push them back. Spearmen stay home to defend, and the stone has been gathered. Has 1200. Now this is interesting. So with the 1200 stone on that stone mine, you would have actually been able to afford 2 keeps with the old bonus of 25% discount, but now you can actually only afford 1. So it does mean that you will have to move to another stone pile to get the second keep. So bear that in mind as well. So the nerf is a little bit of an interesting one. Whilst it does increase the cost by a little bit, it does mean from one single stone pile you can only get 1 keep. You'd have to go to another stone pile to get the rest. As that engagement does happen, the spears are going to dive in a little bit, and it feels like Mekrid should win that fight. Because it does take some time for the upgrades to come in. A bit of micro there, pulling away the weak knights, and does have to back off in the end because the spearmen get too much value for him, for his liking. You can see village fortresses is now queued up. It's going to be taking about another 2 minutes. I wonder where those keeps are going. It's going to be looking to be going on the west side, on the berries, gold and stone. A very fantastic position. Also have a little bit of a woodline secured as well here, Annie. And he's going to try and pushing in, but the reinforcements coming in for Mekrid will be pushing that back and taking those units alive. And killing them, of course. And now it's going to head straight north. Numbers of units starting to build up for Mekrid. It's looking rather ominous. Sets off the sacred site. And I suspect, I'm sure Mekrid will be heading right there. Probably doesn't need to send all his army, but he's going to do so. He's going to be making sure. Now, we do have a bit of a rename and rework. These are actually called veteran Keshiks now for the Mongols, so bear that in mind. We're used to calling them Lancers, we're used to calling them Knights, but now they are actually veteran Keshiks. So these are new units for the Mongols, and bear in mind that now they have a couple of bit of bonuses. They also restore health after every attack, so it's a really nice bonus there for the Mongols in this new unit. So I thought I'd break that in just as we go along the game, and there is that new unit now, a veteran Keshik. And harassing the villager on gold takes her out, and she dies a very painful death. Now there are 3 relics in the bag for Annie, so that's going to help the eco a little bit. Very equal numbers of villagers. And it's a bit of a shame that Mekrid didn't really take value of the fact that he got to the castle age first by getting those relics. And now with village fortresses almost in, we're essentially going to be playing with 2 town centers here, Delhi Sultanate. It will look very strong for them, but of course need to protect themselves from these raids that the Mongols are really known for, of course. Let's have a couple of villages on the west. That's going to be a painful loss. These villages will go down. I'm sure all of them will. 6 of them. Charge attack comes off. It'll be picked apart. Now this Keshik unit is really, really nice. The fact that it can just heal itself after attacks makes the sustainability really, really good. It's going to be running underneath the keep though. That's going to be less than ideal. Villagers do garrison inside, but there's not enough space in the keep for all those villagers to survive. So some more will go down to 43 villagers, a 10 villager deficit. Now with village fortresses coming in, that necessarily won't be too much of a problem for too long. As long as he doesn't lose too many more. I mean, he's losing quite a lot here on the field. He's lost so many already. It's 25 worker kills that Mekrid has got so far. Getting a second keep on that sacred site, that will secure the gold income for Annie as well. Don't forget he's got 3 relics. A fascinating game on this 1v1 Empire Wars format. So let me know what you guys think about the Keshik as well. It's a very nice unit, especially the fact they can heal after every attack. Certainly going to be spicing things up. Second keep is now up and running, so essentially 3 town centers. Is he producing from them just yet? It's not actually, which is a bit of an oversight, but one little tip actually, if you're playing as the Delhi Sultanate, you may have your town centers on a particular hotkey. What you can do is if you bind your keeps and your capital town center on the same hotkey, it treats them as a normal town center as such. So you can actually press the hotkey and then Q to queue up villagers from your keeps and your town centers. But speaking of keeps and town centers, well, he's fighting underneath this keep with the Mongol Keshiks. taking a lot of units out. Spearman trying to hold firm. Does push this back a little bit, but actually, to be fair, I mean, Mecca could just take this out. On the back of this, though, Mecca is looking to go to that Imperial age, going up with the White Stupa, and that will be acting as an Ubi, producing 240 stone per minute without a stone outcropping. Now we'll be looking to get that central sacred site there, Annie. Floating a lot of wood could possibly have a farming transition. Could be an option, but he's looking to get the pocket economies. And as I say that, look here on the west side, that's exactly what's happening, getting the farming economy up and running. Should be able to afford another keep very soon. Maybe on another sacred site. Could be an option. Mecrid kind of suspects that. Sends a couple of these Keshiks on the west side to patrol and see what damage he can pick off. But quite a few crossbowmen there for Annie. Playing on with the infantry. And don't forget he does have the Tower of Victory. So these guys will have that buffer of the 20% attack speed bonus. Garrison inside the keep. And this is the value of having that keep. A lot of these farms will be protected economy. They can just dive in and out. Put a deer pack. Deer packs here that aren't taken. Of course, pretty exposed and just relying on the farms for now. You can see Mecrid looking well to deny these pocket economies. Deer and berries denied. Does force that farming transition, but that's not necessarily a problem with Real Annie having so much wood floating, but so does Mecrid, to be fair. Now we do see the elite coming up here for the Keshiks. Elite Keshiks going to be pretty powerful. That's something that Annie will need to be careful about. No real signs for going up to the Imperial Age himself and looking to get map control with the keeps. Could potentially afford one if he can get another 400 odd stone in the bank. Does have this stone pile here to take. Not much left in there though. Does have this big one here, 2,400. That could be a nice thing to mine. Keshiks on the east. Walling up on the west there for Annie. Probably looking to secure that sacred site. He does look to get a keep on the front lines in a really nice position actually. It's the keep spam on the stone piles. Once he get this keep up, I wouldn't be surprised for him to go back on stone again to get another keep. And be securing that position on that sacred site. Does have this third sacred site on the east side to look to capture, but will he be able to? Considering that the elite upgrade is now in for Keshiks. And we do see step lancers coming in. The improved technology. This will increase the Keshiks healing by +2 per health, per attack. 2+ health per attack, and the attack speed by 20%. Step lancers for these Keshiks, this upgrade will be incredibly strong. And it is the improved version, of course. These knights, or Keshiks shall we say, might just deal a lot of damage. But there are quite a few crossbows. There is a tower elephant there for Annie, so it could help hold the position. It does feel like it's more of a holding job here for Annie and the Delhi Sultanate. It does have 60 units. But don't forget, these Keshiks are the premium elite units. And you can see the villager count starting to build up again. Those raids did great work there for Mecrid. Don't forget, Annie has essentially about 4 town centres now effectively with these keeps. We're still struggling to keep up on the village count. It will start to overtake, but it's been almost 19 minutes of the game. And he's been behind on villagers that whole time. So the economy should be a bit stronger here for Mecrid as he heads in the east side with these Keshiks. Keshik's looking to raid the deer pack, but nothing is there. It's going to head further north. It's going to go straight for the heart of the defense. This is a problem for Annie. He doesn't actually have units here. So a lot of villagers might be going down. It's certainly a concern. He's fighting on the town centre. They will not mind this at all, picking off some of the villagers and units. Not many left though. Could perhaps go to the wood line. This does mean that Real Annie has to pull back his units, but they're relatively slow, mostly consisting of infantry and really the movement speed on the side of Mecrid and his army mobility. As to the north on that, but there's nothing there. Only 2 sacred sites. Feels like Annie's not taking advantage of the potential win condition of the sacred site victory. Look to perhaps just boom it up and maybe get to the Imperial Age himself, but he is struggling on the food income for that. Mongols looking to be in the driving seat with their aggression. Will be picking off some villagers on the stone piles, and despite having effectively 4 town centres, Annie is finding it difficult to really outboom his opponent. Siege workshops 2 of them are being built, but this wood line could be harassed quite badly, and I just wonder, this pushing and pulling of these villagers, keeping them idle, is really hurting the Delhi Sultanate economy, and these Keshiks will be running around. There is boiling oil in this keep though, so they won't want to fight under the keep for too long. You can see them healing up very nicely, those Keshiks. The sacred site on the southeast being captured now. Takes the fight in the engagement. This could be a big fight. The crossbow is picking off some of the Keshiks. That's a problem for Mekrud. Just riding on by, trying to ignore them. A lot of the units do go down, and he's really starting to dwindle the number of units. Less than half the number of units than his opponent here, Mekrud. And head towards the east now. Heading towards the north, and that mining camp, there's nothing to be taken there. The sacred site victory counter has been actually activated on the east side, but Mekrud should just send some units there because it's pretty unguarded. And it's pulling away these units. It's going to take the fight here. I'm not sure that's an ideal one considering the crossbows, but it is Imperial Age army versus the Castle Age army, so he should be able to get decent amount of value killing the units. And don't forget, the Keshiks are healing themselves every attack that they do. It'll be +2 HP that they get. And look to take out the Tower Elephant. I'm not sure if he should be able to kill this, but might just be able to do so because of the improved Step Lancer upgrade. That's really surprising to see. I expected the Tower Elephant to do a bit of a better job than that. I do see a regular War Elephant coming out for the Delhi Sultanate now, but now with 3 knights riding around with the Khan, it's going to be a problem for Annie to deal with. The east side looking to get that keep. Mekrud not jumping on this, really should be. Looking to get biology now, which will increase the health of all cavalry by 30%. 5 villagers building that up too. So guys, I hope you guys are enjoying this casted game, and if you are, do think about dropping a subscription to the channel. I'm hopefully getting a subscriber goal of 1,000 more by the end of the year. So I'm hoping to get about 7,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Help a brother out, help me get there. If you've been watching up until now, clearly like the content, so hit that subscribe button and help me get to that subscriber goal. As we see Mekrud looking to take out the villagers on that keep on the right side. They will go down, and that second side will be decapped. He's going to get a lot of torch damage on this keep, and he's not deleted it. He's losing a lot of stone, and that will go down. And now Annie won't have another keep coming up anytime soon. Doesn't have the stone for it. Should just leave 1 or 2 knights there, or Keshik shall we say, on the eastern sacred site, and he's going to head north now. There's a dangerous number of Keshiks with biology coming in soon. Feels like that's going to be too hot to handle here for the Delhi Sultanate. Keep on the west side. We're picking away a Keshik there on the west. Keshik's in the north. Again, looking to take out another tower offense. Should be able to manage so just about. Pretty decently, pretty comfortably actually. And these knights, these Keshiks I say, we're burning through that gate. These are Imperial Age units, completely upgraded. And with Annie still in the Castle Age, they will be fighting underneath the keep though. And Mekrud will be fighting against boiling oil in that keep. Doesn't need to take that fight. He heads away, and rightly so. No real reason to fight that. As he heads northeast, now looking to pick away any stray villagers, but there aren't here to be had. But again, it does mean that Annie can't push, and the Mongols' economy has been pretty much untouched the whole game. That's not what you want to be having if you're playing as the Delhi Sultanate. It does have double the army, but they're not really engaging this army because it doesn't have the movement and the ability. It hasn't been able to corner off these armies. It hasn't been able to get the static defenses to guide the fight in the way he wants. Been pretty open. Does have some walls, but in the middle of the map, these knights, these Keshiks are just running right through. Keshik's heading in the north. We're picking apart this army. But yeah, this is a problem here for Annie. He's floating so much food, so much gold. I'm not sure why he's not going to the next stage. He can certainly afford it at this point. Certainly would be a good idea. He needs to spam out units, needs more production buildings, needs everything here, Annie. He's not really managing to get it though. Going up with the Palace of the Sultan. There we are finally, spending the resources that he has. Better late than never. But could it be a little bit too little too late? Quite possibly, because these Keshiks, how is he going to stop this? Does have 63 military apparently. I'm not entirely sure where they are. They're clearly not where they needed to be. There they are, in the heart of the defense. But again, the Mongols and Mekrud's Keshiks are just going to ride away. Never really have to take an engagement. They're going to go straight past those crossbows. Crossbows don't get any value, aren't able to use the range that they have. Too far away. Now the villagers are being pulled back into the keep. More idled economy. And he does have a villager lead, but He is struggling at this point, not being able to spend the resources. There are 2 mangonels. Those are going to be sniped for sure, and this might be a denial of the Imperial Age landmark. And if that goes down, will it be the GG? They just are being slain, and that might just deny the Imperial Age tech up. I mean, it's pretty much mostly built, and I don't think the army can be sustained here from Mekrud. They're going to take out a mangonel and then run away. This does lose a lot, though, in the process, fighting underneath the keep and the crossbows and spearmen. Probably needs to send a couple of villagers just to get that Palace of the Sultan built up again. New Khan rises to add into the problems for the Delhi Sultanate. As the knights, the Keshiks rather, do head up north. I'm going to have to get used to that. Of course, we're so used to saying knights and lancers. Because it does have a group of these 34 Keshiks. Now riding in again, once again. Mekrud coming in with the cavalry. Sacred Site on the east side was decapped for quite some time. He's going to try and torch down the keep, even with boiling oil. I'm not sure it's a great idea, but he's going to do it anyway. Should just look to get some siege, but he hasn't got any just yet. He's going to try and torch this down. It's going to take a while. This is a pretty stonky keep. Does have emplacements as well. And with boiling oil, I mean, he's still managing to... ultimately, these are elite units with full upgrades at this point. Now looking to get the whistling arrows, increasing the Khan's signal arrow by +5 in duration seconds, and arranged by 2 tiles. Boiling oil is coming out, and the spearmen are going to chase in now. And well, Mekrud needs to pull out of here. He's getting hit by crossbows on the back line. He's not paying attention. He is now, but lost a lot of Keshiks there for no real value. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. He taps out though, and he realizes he's behind. He's defeated, and Mekrud takes the first ever win on the first ever Empire Wars game mode. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast of the game. Take care and see you next time.